So, that cube you took from us, what is it?
I don't know.
Come now.
All I know is that it doesn't belong in your hands.
That's a harsh way to put it.
It doesn't belong in any of our hands. Just look at how the Fae guard it.
Curious behavior that was.
They're selective about what they protect. From my observations, they tend to be defensive about things that might have had some significance to the Dimenticato. Weapons, statues, things like that.
You know a lot about that, don't you? Never mind then.
Alright, then on we go. We're gonna learn more about the Fae, probably. That's a good start. I want to figure out how they work exactly, and what their goal is, because they seem to have a heavy emphasis on... They seem to be closely related to what the main story is going to be here.
The first room is straight up ahead.
So everything we learn about them is going to be important. Anything in this dead end down here? Some lore, some surprises, some... Oh, this room keeps going. Hi, surprise fight, I guess. Wow. There's actually like a whole dungeon around here. Ooh, that looks neat. Kind of want to look at that. Oh, this keeps going in every direction, huh? Maybe I should just go in the direction that I'm supposed to go in instead of every single direction, because it seems like I might end up going in all those directions anyway. Alright, so to review her skills, she pierces an enemy with elemental tag. That's just the usual thing. Convergence, blast an enemy with dirt and dust, interrupting the target and placing an earth tag on it. It's weird having two earth characters already. Alright, so blast and interrupt. Empowers herself by getting attack and movement speed, and conjures an illusion which generates high threat before burrowing underground towards the target location. While underground, clears all threat gained. So it's a movement skill. This is going to be interesting. She has a few things she can play with here. The fact that I'm assuming she just casted Convergence because she doesn't. It's currently she's casting it right now. Okay. This guy looks like he's an easier target. The big guy's probably going to be hard. It's a little tough to take down. Let's try double teaming a little bit. Let's see. You should cast your defensive AoE. We should get you busy on putting down some... Well, actually, let's get out of this... all this stuff I'm stuck in right now. There we go. I was about to get swarmed there. Do a Drake. Followed by another Drake. That'll hold off some of the additions. Oh, I didn't summon the other one. There we go. Covered in attacks. I'm just trying to keep out of that a little bit. There we go. Yeah, he's going down fast enough that I can probably just keep going like this. There we go. Alright, easy enemies down. That actually more or less ends this thing too. Cool. Gotcha. Then everyone heals up and we're all fine. You know, let's check out the weird throne room thing I just saw there. I might be wasting time and we might go through this anyway. But hey, if I killed all the enemies... If I killed all the enemies already, maybe that'll mean that we get to just wander around and do story for a while without any interruption fights. I guess we'll find out, huh? So you swarm him. Definitely cast our AoE, since they're about to surround us anyway. And put down a few tricks here and there. You definitely do the thing that makes us take less damage. There we go. That's just logical at this stage. There we go. And they're both pretty much about to go down. Yep, there it goes.
So, can you at least tell us what Razatov has been working on?
He believes that the cleaver contains clues that'll lead him to some treasure or something.
You don't sound very confident.
You don't know the half of it.
What do you mean?
I'd never seen anyone more... unstable.
Razatov?
He's one of the most grounded people I know.
He kept muttering to himself about nonsense and this search of his for some... artifacts.
We should keep moving.
Okay. Sure. Interesting how we seem to be triggering story conversations while ignoring the direction I'm supposed to go in. I wonder if there's more dialogue I can trigger by going in different places. Or if we just have some sort of long-standing objective to take things out. Got another raw Masquerine. Masquerine needs to be decorated. Does nothing new. It's just a different design and name. How about... Oh. Hi. We're just gonna leave you here? Okay. Thought we might want to help. Ooh, there's like different colored, almost like lava looking stuff everywhere. Got blue, red, purple, pink. Could this have anything to do with the elemental powers that are in the Mascherines themselves? This is supposed to be a quarry where they found the Mascherines, right? That'll be interesting to look into. Are those pews? No, those are more like meal tables, really. This is also a dead end. Alright. Everyone swarm this guy and make him feel bad for existing. Haha. Jeez. Well, that stopped him in his tracks. Get you using your usual defensive skills. Put a few drakes down. There we go. That'll make short work of some guys. Yeah, at this point I think we can more or less let the fight play out on its own. Yep, there it goes. Being able to summon additional attackers helps a lot.
So, you said you've been working beside him. Did he ever come to any breakthroughs?
There was one day a few weeks ago that he was going on about how he'd found it.
Found it?
Though I can't begin to tell you just what it is.
I see. Please, Amadea, are there any more rooms that we have to clear out? I'm quite itching to see what he's come up with.
This is the last of them. The room's just a ways over there.
Interesting. For a moment there I thought we might have had a new way of dealing with narrative, because so far it's been run to waypoint or optional waypoints, and then fight if anything shows up along the way, and that's about it. But this seemed to be suggesting for a moment that perhaps you could trigger conversations just by walking into certain areas. But now that dialogue was like, oh, do we have to clear more places out? But we never had that objective in the first place, which makes me think that when I walk up here, that objective would have been triggered somehow. That I would have been forced to clear the place out if I went the way I was supposed to. Yeah, am I gonna find out that these doors are locked and they open up or something after we clear all the guys out? I'm not sure. All I know is I sure ignored the main waypoint, and that leads to some interesting outcomes. You're taking an interesting path, aren't you? Alright. Better place those drakes. They'll make a mess of things. Stop that. Stop that thing you're doing. Enjoy weird earth drake monsters. Surprise. There we go.
There.
Let me try to understand this. You spend your days in these song-forsaken ruins tending to artifacts that nobody cares about?
There are truths in this world that we have yet to even glimpse. Truths that, if you knew anything about the Dimenticato, you would know they were familiar with. There's much to be learned from studying the past.
Like how to lead a civilization to extinction?
Let's keep going, shall we?
You're disappointing me, protagonist. What do we care about history, and who cares about the fact that she seems to actually know things about Fae behavior that we don't know already? Yeah, let's just dismiss it all out of hand. The Dimenticato and the Cataclysm. The Dimenticato, the Forgotten Ones, those who roamed the lands of Ombre before Ombre even had a name. Time has been unkind to their legacies. Knowledge about their society is scant in what writings have endured the eroded sands of passing epochs. Most of what survived are tales about their grand conquests, how they used their Mascherines to dominate the lands around them, how their empire is swallowed and crashed over countless others, merciless in their expansion, devastating in their efficiency. They use both words in this game, and I keep misreading them as each other. Yay! Yet despite their seemingly unstoppable expansion, the Dimenticato met their end a little earlier than any would think natural. Scholars and historians have come to believe that the fall of the Empire was sudden and severe. Not a single tale of sour days leading up to the end has been found. It was all greatness and prosperity, and then nothing. This has led them to believe that the fall of the Dimenticato may have been precipitated by an apocalyptic event, catastrophic in scale, for the reach of the Dimenticato brushed every corner of the continent, and then none of them. To this event, the Vegelus was given a name, the Cataclysm. In modernity, the Dimenticato and the spectacles of their time are rarely discussed. The minds of the modern Ombrian are far too filled with thoughts, lusts even, for blood and power and politics. For them to hold any space to care for the past, it's a pity, I'd say, for if they'd not been so deaf to the echoes of their songs that had once been sung, they might have realized just how many answers to their current conflicts lay in the forgotten cradle of the city. That was oddly contradictorily examinative. I can't think of the right word at all. Whoa, she was just pushing this rock across. That was kind of funny physics there. That was like that was introspective in a way that I wasn't expecting, because he was like almost condescendingly dismissive a moment ago. That's weird. The rocks, yeah, those rocks do not have physics. Look at those things go. I'm surprised you can't just walk over them, honestly. It seems like the logical solution would just be to let you walk over them and not have them physics at all. But they get thrown around, which makes them look silly because they're supposed to be rocks. It's not usually how it works. Oh, now we'll acknowledge the body.
He's gone.
This must have been the scout the Cacciatore mentioned.
Wait. Something's not right. His face. It's frozen.
This wasn't done by the Kilgan.
A water brand, then?
No!
Masked runners.
Damn it.
She's running ahead. That's probably not a good thing for us. Come back here. Come back. Oh, she really just took off. There they are.
No!
Well, well, the Regenti was right after all. He's got quick friends.
Where is he?
Get them!
We've got this!
Well, that started off nicely. Okay, so got a bruiser, a thumper, a bruiser, and a rake. Going after the thumper is usually a good idea. Everyone else can take a while, but that ranged magic is kind of brutal to deal with sometimes. Starting to cast, let's do interrupt on him. There we go. We should probably try to get out of the attack real quick. If I can. Let's have you guys focus on this guy over here for a moment. You back up a little bit. Ah, of course. It has to work that way, huh? You're not making it easy for me to deal with the constant flurry here. Wow, the pathing is going all over the place for each enemy too. There we go. He made the mistake of leaving the safety of that bubble he was in. Okay, so let's make a few paces here. Defensive cast. Definitely, let's give ourselves a boost. Why does it have a giant circle for casting? Doesn't it happen? Isn't it a self-cast? That's weird. That it would... The language of the spell describes it as something you cast on yourself. So it's weird that it seems to be framed as if you would do it anywhere else. The thumper keeps getting away. Let's go after him now. Hey, thumper. No escape for you. I'm kind of pinning myself though, aren't I? Let's see. Let's just throw out everything we can at him real quick. See if that pans out. There we go. We'll try to get out of this AoE real quick. Their faster character chases us while the AoE characters are stuck doing their attack for a moment, leaving us obviously capable of taking them down for a bit. I'll save the interrupt for the moment. Let's go for the Dust Devil AoE and the party heal. That'll help the party. I'll do my Q ability, since that obviously helps us. Is she down yet? No, she teleported. You can't escape me that easily. I know where you are. Your Q ability is... Oh, roots your enemies for a period of time. That's worth a shot. That'll stop them from escaping. There we go. Let's, I know they're rooted, but we should try to get out of this AoE if we can. Hold our advantage while it's valid. Okay. I have to tab my H's so they don't go running back in again. There we go. This guy has no focus, so he's the obvious target to go after next. I could have used my interrupt to stop the AoE, actually. That would have been a smarter move, probably. Do a Dust Devil, Party Heal. Make it count. Water Cannon. There we go. She used her upper interrupt when I wasn't telling her to. It's valid for them to attack on their own, but in this particular case, I wanted to use that if they tried to use the AoE again. For now, I'll just wait. It actually acts to my advantage while they're standing there doing their AoE and I'm not fighting back. My mud drakes are still making up for lost time.
Where did she go?
Damn it!
There.
Calden. Amadeo, come on.
Bye. Oh, just Calden, huh? We're just randomly recombining the group over and over again. Although so far it hasn't affected the conflicts. Should I have checked for a book? I don't think I saw. I don't think I saw a waypoint back there for lore. But there could have been. It was a library.
Damn it.
It's hard not to give in to the urgency sometimes. Oh wow, what are you doing?
Tell me!
Enough!
H's.
Here we go. Hold your ground!
Well, that was more severe than anything we've been led to expect from him in particular. Look at this level we're in, by the way. Just crystals everywhere of every different color. Seems to be an important place for the masks then, right? Let's see how nasty he turns out to be. Okay, let's get out of this, maybe. In fact, you're in the middle of it, and I don't really want to risk it that much, so maybe we'll try doing Burrow to skip out of it. There we go, that's one way to get out just in time. Without as much risk. Alright, everyone. Oh, that's another AoE happening. Okay, so this is going to be a constant thing I need to worry about. I got focused on what skills I was going to activate that I didn't even look at. The fact that he was in the middle of doing that. There we go. Everybody get back in there. I'll just try to keep an eye out for the AoEs when they happen in the future, because I wasn't quite ready. He's still kind of low. Okay. That's pretty close to you. There we go. Should be safe, though. Let's activate our Q. Okay, you need to get out of there, and you need to get out of there. And refocus your attacks again, of course. Earthen Strike. He's getting low fast. He's not gonna last too long. Let's try rooting people. Definitely getting damage in here. Everyone's more or less in it, though. Yeah. Let's get our water attack in. 2, 1, 0%! Alright, now it's just a fight against a bunch of tiny grunts. Focus fire will reduce the number of attacks coming in, and that more or less deals with the problem. Got our first person going down for the episode, but that was a quick fix. Never mind, less of an easy fix than I thought. Our other character went down immediately afterwards. Come on, don't lose against these guys after taking down the boss. There we go. All set. So there's the story, but we can apply our skill points. There's also a Masquerine up here. Another one. What do you look like? Another half mask. And some lore. Thank you. Tell me what you know. A Dimenticato architecture. High arches, angles everywhere. The inscriptions into the stonework even were angular, precise. Is that what the ancient people were like as well? I could just imagine them, all lines and rows of discipline. Even the Lucas Order, with their strict rows of gold, would hold nary a candle to what I imagined the Dimenticato to be. Our voices echoed through the chambers, the very same chambers through which the voices of the people before us had once resounded. What would they have thought of us, I wondered? Us who wore their ornaments, who traipsed on the bones of their land. We do not belong here, whispered Corvus. We had very few superstitions in the Ombre. Corvus's Zoric blood seemed to have granted him inheritance of them, however. These walls, they're watching us. With what? The eyes of the dead? Reva smiled. Corvus, my dear, it's been thousands of years. And still, their gazes rest upon our shoulders still, their ears pressed against our lips, he said, turning back to the broken pillars and shattered walls. Can't you feel it? These walls, they are more stone and dust. They are more than stone and dust. They had once been the skeleton of a monument. How majestic these halls must have once been. How much power must have coursed through their corridors. These stones, they have seen more grandeur in their lives than we will in all of ours combined. You think these materials could have come into contact with such greatness and remained unchanged? They contain fragments of souls invested into the world, remnants of the blood and sweat of our forebears. They are not dead. They never will be. He turned back to the rest of us. Should that not be even greater a reason to leave this ruin alone? Cloying sentimentality, Elfina scoffed. You are aware that you speak of rubble and dirt, yes? A sad look crossed Corvus's face, and he opened his mouth for a brief moment, as if in protest. Something else quickly skirted his mind, however, and he simply shook his head instead. A chill wind blew through the tunnel, and I shivered, though whether from the draught or from something else I was uncertain. We should make our sketches and leave, I said. We were here for one thing and one thing alone, to trace the inscriptions as part of our studies as inspectores. I agree with Cicero, Lucina said. Our beliefs here should not stay our working hands. We each left the others to find an inscription large enough to take a tracing of. We took out our pieces of charcoal and our parchment, and we began tracing. So that was a chance where they were actually here together, and he had different beliefs that we may not have the best understanding of because he wasn't articulating them at the time, unless he's going to expand on them in the future from some other encounter they may have had. Let's look at our skills here. 2 to spend. Let's see. I can go further into this. Oh, they cost 3 if I want to go further in. Duration, or they can have AoE damage. AoE damage could be pretty nice. Additional twister, not the biggest priority. Or I could finally get the tag ability. Focus and mask charge versus forcing people to attack me. Forcing people to attack Cicero seems like a mistake, because he doesn't actually stand up to damage that well. I think I'm going to go for the one that gives you focus and mask charge. There we go. Alright, we're back on Calden. Increased attack speed's not a terrible idea. Blast distance for his main attack, or we could save up for a sphere bonus. Each commander's health and focus becomes average. That's not what I want to go for, really. So restoring his focus would be good for continued tanking. I'm going to grab that. We've been over why I think the averaging one's a bad idea. So Pummel Strike. This is for our fire character who's not here right now. We can make it so that she can... Oh, wow. After she uses Pummel Strike, she can use it again for free immediately afterwards. So she gets to use it twice in a row. That seems actually great. That's worth having. No need to prioritize which things I get in what order for her necessarily, because we'll probably have more points stacked up before she even rejoins the party. So further increases attack and movement speed. Not a bad idea. It's a passive thing that helps her across the board. That might be something to go for. Sand dunes is our interrupt. I can make her... Oh no, this is a burrowing... This is the burrowing skill. Yeah. Gain focus underground or block people from being able to move around. This is the interrupt. Increases damage based on the distance between the target. The further away, the better the damage. And then her speed boast. Ooh! There we go. Now it makes more sense. Now she can cast it on her allies. That makes significantly more sense. Now I know why there's a weird casting bubble, even though it can only be cast on herself. It's just kind of preemptively there for the later upgrade. I think this pass is worth grabbing, though. Just making her attack and movement speed increase across the board seems like it'd be plenty versatile. I think this is the only loose end.
Where is the Regenti?
Lady, deliver me.
Answer me! Damn.
Here, look.
What is it?
Razatov's. I'm surprised it survived, considering what it went through.
How did you find this?
I thought I saw something moving in the rubble. A light or something. Turned out to be his journal. All's been charred save a single entry.
My instincts were right. Aechian Siun of the Air Noirth was the time when the god of the Dimenticato, Breog, gifted them with the artifacts, the Treror. With them, the Dimenticato expanded. The evidence of what the artifacts allowed them to do is all around us. Mascherines. Their god allowed them, taught them how to create Mascherines, using the 3 artifacts. And I know how to find them. He actually did it.
I believe our agreement has come to an end.
That's it?
What? You expected me to follow you?
It's not about following me. This is a breakthrough, Amadea. The very fabric of the city will unravel because of this.
Then go. Be excited.
I thought you'd want to be part of it.
Goodbye, Inspettori.
Goodbye.
$172. Tell me how I am supposed to explain our actions to the families of 172 of my people.
Null, we have spoken about this before.
It is not enough. Telling them that the lady has better plans for them is not damn near enough. Where were you? Where was the lady when the portieri assaulted the Quiet Order? Why did she not give us a sign? Why did you leave us?
The answers are beyond your comprehension. You must have faith, Null.
Then give it to me! Tell me why we are letting our people die.
We needed the Regenti. You were there when we took him. You were there when he told us about the cleaver, about the girl.
And after we learn about that, you choose to send my people in such small numbers, just like the Conoscenza. You refuse to listen to my plea for sending more.
Have faith, Null.
I have had enough. You might have converted a few of my people to your religion, but you know that I still command their hearts. You have a day to make good on our bargain, Herald, or I will take my people and do it my way. Why didn't he tell me?
Perhaps he intended to, but didn't get the chance.
Ugh. If he spent days, weeks even, in those stupid ruins, why wasn't I informed? Can't believe I trusted such a fool with something so...
Razatov wasn't a fool.
No? Then why is he now in the hands of rebel scum?
He found what you told him to find. More even.
So where are the answers? What are your plans?
There's only one lead left.
The masked runners who have him.
They need to be contacted. A channel of communication needs to be set up.
And how are you intending to do that?
To Cicero Gavar of the Cavalli Fields, Hyacinth District. You have been summoned back to Ombre, the request of the Verone. Your exile will be revoked, and you will be granted a grand sum of 10,000 crescents, should you complete the business that awaits you. A pair of coach hands has been...
Get to your point.
The business was to find Razatov. I have found him. He is with the mask runners.
20,000 if you bring him back.
Lucia has been working on a case involving the mask runners. She should...
I will not accept this. You... When my rats in the Cavalli Fields told me that you'd gotten familiar with the bottom of tankards, I pulled a few strings, cut a few trade routes, terminated a few breweries.
Why would you do that?
Because you're better than that. You're better than the drunkard I kept reading about in all the reports from the fields. And you're better than this coward who wants to turn in an investigation just because it suddenly involves going to the mask runners. Yes, you made a mistake. And yes, that mistake cost you your brother's life, nearly cost you yours, and has cost me my city. But it was a mistake. And we are not defined by our mistakes. Cicero!
Let them burn. If I'm doing this, I'm not using some pathetic hand-me-downs. I'll make my own notes, thank you very much.
Well, that one's not too common, is it? We have a leader character who is actually interested in our potential as an individual. They have faith in us, which is uncommon in some ways. The key. He even talks about all the things that we've cost him, and he's still saying that we're better than that, as opposed to just throwing us to the wolves or anything like that. And also, if the Mask Runners ever had a noble cause, and they may not now. The brother may have had good ideas at some point, possibly. Or we're just predisposed, potentially, to have some faith in that, potentially. But that creepy cult mask character doesn't inspire confidence at the moment. I would say. Hey, Calvin. I have been unkind to this man. More than necessary, and far more than his behavior is warranted. He travels with me, protects me in battle, looks out for my interests, pulls more than his fair share of weight, and yet he asks for nothing in return except to stay to help find Razatov for me to answer a few questions about myself. In return, I cast suspicions over him and shun his efforts at reaching out. Ages, and I have been away from civilization for so long that this is my response to hospitality? He still hides something, that much I am certain, but perhaps I have been wrong to treat him with such wintry temperament. Ombre is a cold city with frozen marrow, but that does not mean we should let the chill of its heart seep into our own. Then Amadea. After all that's happened, after all that we've discovered, I cannot say that I am unsurprised at her departure. For a woman who claims to be invested in the histories of the past, it makes no sense that she would just take off like this. Right, it's a double negative. So I am surprised at her departure, not because I cannot say I am unsurprised. Just had to phrase it that way, huh? So he is surprised. If she had other leads that she'd be willing to pursue, then perhaps I would be less surprised. But so much of her work has been destroyed. Where else does she plan to go? What else does she plan to do? That's going to be more fulfilling or shows more promise than the leads that we have. It is frustrating, truly, that such a great resource has left us. It sounds callous indeed, that I would simply refer to as such, but from the way that she has behaved, I'd reckon that she'd be glad I'd chosen such a word. She's intentionally kept as much of her heart out of this as possible, and I'd respect that decision. Let her leave her heart out, but there must be some way to at least bring her head back into this. So she's left the party immediately, just like that. So Tiziana and Amadea are both not with us right now, although it does seem to be heavily suggested that they may return. We'll just have to see what condition that seems to be under.